From the moment that humanity had functioning language, we've been telling stories. For this reason, I think it's a little arrogant to think that any content that we come up with can be in any way original. I've been reading a book called The 7 Basic Plots, and basically it's like talking about the same thing I'm just talking about now. Christopher Booker asserts in this book that he thinks that there are basically like set plots that outline each story. The plots that he's talking about are Overcoming the Monster, Rags to Riches, Quests, Voyage and Return, Tragedies, and Rebirth. What he starts the book by saying is that excited moviegoers in the 70s going to see Jaws are the same as Anglo-Saxon warriors who sat around listening to Beowulf, which is essentially the same story as Jaws. Hero finds out about a monster. Hero prepares to confront the monster. Hero is successful at first. Hero finds out that it's a little bit more difficult than he thought. There's a climactic battle, and the hero emerges successful. If you want to know what Beowulf's about, just go rent Sharknado. Typically, at the end of one of these stories, the hero will gain some type of treasure or princess, and a kingdom. The lineup I just took you through is the plot of Overcoming a Monster, and it's 5 acts. Next we have your classic Rags to Riches story, which is something like Aladdin or Prince and Pauper, where the hero starts out poor and sad. Riff-raff, street rat, I don't buy that. Something happens to make things look up for the hero. Everything eventually falls apart, leaving the hero without the riches that he just earned and the girl that he just fell in love with. He then discovers the power that he has and uses it to defeat the odds, winning all of his possessions and the girl back.
This plot can end this way with all being happy, or it can deviate into 2 darker versions. One variation is ultimate failure because he sought riches rather than a noble end, and the second is hollow victory, in which the hero is successful in gaining his riches and the girl back, but is ultimately unhappy and unfulfilled because he sought riches.
Next we have quest stories, which a hero is originally in a desolate, unhappy world and gets a call to go far, far away and get something that will fix everything. The hero heads out to go get that thing, and on his way he makes many friends and has mini quests in which he scores points or rupees and levels up. Once he completes the dungeon, he realizes that a boss is guarding the item that he wants, and that's going to be a little bit more difficult than he thought, but ultimately defeats the boss and gets the item. In Voyage and Return plots, the hero starts off bored and unfulfilled, suddenly is transported to a different world. He's fascinated by this world and learns a lot about it. There's an imminent threat that he must escape, and he finds a way to return to his home and his life of boredom. Example of this type would be things like Wizard of Oz or Gulliver's Travels. Comedies are where it starts to get confusing because rather than having a set plot structure, basically they just depend on how they end. Booker attempted to set up a structure and it's a little confusing, but basically the hero starts off in a place where relationships are rocky and there's misunderstanding. Things continue to get worse until there is an eventual crisis in which everything is resolved, relationships are formed, and there is usually a marriage. Traditionally, comedy can be defined in a few different ways that are not the ways that Booker defined it. A story that ends happily, a story that is humorous or satirical, or a drama about love that usually ends in a marriage again. Similarly, tragedies are also defined by the end, and again, Booker did a valiant effort in trying to make a structure anyway. Start with the hero who is unfulfilled. The hero gets a hobby or object of desire that is typically forbidden. All goes well with the hero and this object. Things start to go wrong, and the hero loses control of everything, and all is lost, everyone dies, the hero is destroyed. Blah blah blah. Macbeth. Dr. Faustus. Hamlet. The final one is rebirth stories, which typically have female main characters, and the female main characters suck. In these stories, it's basically like the hero doesn't really do much and has to be rescued by someone else. The most annoying is probably like something like Sleeping Beauty or Snow White, where like they fall into a sleeping curse and have to be rescued. Beauty and the Beast kind of like heads this one off, because instead of making the Beast the main character, they make Belle the main character. Because of this, like, the main character is an active participant in the rescue rather than just being rescued. In these stories, the hero falls into darkness, things seem to get better, and then they get way worse. Darkness seems to win. But luckily, they have someone swoop in and miraculously rescue them from their state of living death. So those are the 7 plots. There are 2 more that Booker doesn't really like, which are Mystery and Rebellion Against the One, but I'm not going to go into them because he doesn't really like them and I don't feel like it. I really just brought this up because I thought it was very cool how he said that Beowulf and Jaws have the same plot. A quicker summary. Oh, there's a scary monster. Oh, I have to fight it. Oh, I might not win. Just kidding, I won. Oh, I'm really poor. Oh no. Oh wait, I'm getting richer. Just kidding, I lost some money. Just kidding, I'm rich again. If you're a boring person, you're gonna be bored and unfulfilled no matter where you are, so just don't go anywhere, okay? Somehow, the only funny books are the ones about love. Obsession is dangerous and leads to ultimate death or unhappiness. Gaston was the real hero of Beauty and the Beast. In conclusion, humanity has been generating content since we got language, and original content is pretty much lost. We shouldn't let that discourage us, though. We just need to make it our goal to make a remix that's better than the original.